Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda Quintana here, and I am live in my Beehive studio this morning. And today we are going to be making a Valentine's treat pouch that is perfect for giving out in classrooms, maybe to coworkers. It's a treat that can be made relatively quickly, and so it's something that you can make a lot of. And I'm going to show you how to make that today. I'm just going to give everyone a minute or two to get on here, because sometimes when I'm doing it live, it's nice to have a few people on just giving me a little bit of feedback. And if you're watching this as a recording, of course, you can skip through this part to the part that I actually start making the project. One other thing that I want to point out is that for my email list subscribers, I have a wonderful little project sheet that I'm going to be mailing out on Saturday. So if you want this project sheet, make sure you subscribe, or you are a subscriber to my email list, and you can subscribe down below. Just look in the description of the video below and you will find the link to subscribe, and that will be in your inbox on Saturday. It's just a nice little thing to have so you can follow along. Of course, you will have the video, so that's great, but it's always wonderful to have this little project sheet if you are one of my email list subscribers. So what else can I tell you? Oh, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do that down below. And then if you want to get notifications of when I will be going live, just click on that little bell. So subscribe and then click on the little bell, and that will give you notifications. Okay, let me share with you my little project. Here is one of them right here. So I noticed when I went to the store the other day, and they didn't have Valentine candy out yet, but I was already starting to think about Valentine's Day. And I went in and I grabbed this bag of M&Ms. You know, I really should be a little bit more careful when I tear open my bags so that I don't destroy them, so I can show them on camera. But this is just a bag of fun size M&Ms. They're not Valentine M&Ms. You can get them any time of the year. And so I picked up one of these bags and I pulled them open, and what I noticed was that they had these cute little faces on them. And I was like, wow, I could do something with that. So, and there's, I think in my bag, there are 4 different designs. I don't know if there's more than that in other bags, but I'm going to show you how you can work it no matter which design is on there. I can show you how you can work that. So those are the candies that I'm using. And so basically what these are is they're open on the side, and you can just slide them in and out of the little holder. Now, I tried this with different dimensions, but I decided on making it a snug fit. When I did it one size larger, it was a little too slidey. This way, I think it will kind of stay in, and you have to kind of tug it out, which is kind of the idea, so it doesn't kind of slide out and fall on the floor. So that's why I made them a little snugger rather than a little looser. Okay, so let me turn around my camera. Good morning to everyone who's joining me. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to switch those cameras around. And so one thing that you will need to create this little pouch is the Heartfelt Bundle from Stampin' Up. It consists of the Heartfelt stamp set and the Heart Punch Pack. And the Heart Punch Pack has 2 punches in it. It has a smooth-sided heart and it has the scallop heart. And we're going to be using both of these to create this. And then the Heartfelt stamp set has 4 little greetings that I think work really well for stamping on here. So we've got "So lucky to have a friend like you," which is a perfect classmate greeting, you know, if you're giving it out, and also maybe coworker. And then a little bit more personal, "From my heart to yours." And then "Roses are red, violets are blue," you know, and you can fill in the rest. "Sugar is sweet and so are you." So, you know, that one's appropriate too. And then "Love you lots." So you've got 4 little greetings to choose from when putting these on here. And before I forget, I have to kind of say, I chose the So Lucky to Have a Friend Like You for this little character because this design has the this little M&M is holding the fingers above this guy, and so I'm like thinking this is like for my like a goofy friend, like a one that's like kind of a troublemaker friend, so it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. So lucky to have a friend like you. Yeah, you're lucky, you're sticking your fingers and above my head, so it's kind of funny. That greeting matched with that particular one, but I love it. I think these little M&Ms characters are so much fun in conjunction with what could be a more serious stamp set bundle, but the M&Ms makes it like a fun thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I would start and make a few more of these because we're making them out of a base sheet of Whisper White. This is our regular Whisper White cardstock, not the thick one. The regular Whisper White works really well. When you buy a pack of our Whisper Whites, you get 40 sheets. So you can make a ton out of a pack of Whisper White. So I've got our new Stampin' Trimmer here, and I'm going to show you how you can get 3 of these pouches out of 1 sheet of cardstock. So let me open this up, and I am going to put it in the long way, and I need to move this over to the 5 3/4 inch mark here. I'm going to bring down my thing right here, and we're going to cut up. Okay, remove this side piece. So we want the 5 3/4 inch length here, and then I'm going to move this over to the 4-inch mark. Give it a cut. And then I'll move this over to the 4-inch mark again. And cut. So these 2 pieces, the actual size that you'll need is 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So far I've got 2 of these out of my Whisper White piece. And now I'm going to stick this in again, this last piece. Move it to the 5 3/4 inch mark. Come down, cut. And then this one will also be at the 4-inch line. Scoot it over. And I really love this new trimmer. It works really well. Just one thing to remember with this new trimmer, if you had the old one, sometimes you had to press down a little hard to get it to cut well. This one, you don't want to do that because the blade is actually a lot deeper. So you want to think about slide and glide, not pressing down hard. So slide and glide is the motion you want to do, and it just very nice cuts on this new trimmer. You can actually also score on this trimmer, which I rarely do because I love my scoring board, but let me do one on here just so you can see. If you didn't want to get a scoring board, you can also score on here because we've got this little scoring blade right here. So we're going to score on the long side. So the long side will be up at the top, and first you're going to move this over to and line it up with a 2 3/4 inch mark. And since I don't normally score, let's see how well this scores. I'll go back and forth. Oh yeah, pretty well. And then you need it at the 5 1/2 inch mark. So let me scoot, scoot, scoot to the 5 1/2 inch mark. And just go forward and back. And so I've got one scored on my cutter right here. So let me show you how you would do that if you have a scoring board and you would prefer to score on that. So I've got my 2 pieces here, and I've got marks at the 2 3/4 inch mark and the 5 1/2 inch mark, and I've lost my scoring stylus. So let me just go ahead and score it like that. This is really great if you're going to do a lot of them because it's a lot quicker to do it on the board because you just stick your thing in the corner, you take your little markers and mark up where you need to score. And then it's kind of, you don't have to think about it. You can just like go and do it really quickly. Okay, so that's how you would use the 2 different ways of scoring. Okay, so now how do we create the little guy in the corner? So where are my little M&M pouches? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make all 3 of these. So you're going to take a little Post-it note and you're going to take that smooth sided punch, the one without the scallops, and my sticky part is up here, and I want to make sure when I punch it, at least some of the sticky part will be in that punched area so I can use it to stick on here and it will hold in place for a moment. So I'm going to slide this in here, the non-sticky side in first, and then I'm going to kind of maneuver it around, and my sticky side is now here on the right side. I'm just going to give it a little punch, and so now I have something that's going to stick onto my cardstock. So no matter which one I choose, I'm going to have my long, okay, I've got the short little skinny segment, scored segment away from me, and I've got this bigger segment down at the bottom, and I'm going to put my little M&Ms, this is where the window is going to be punched. I'm going to put my M&Ms here, and I'll decide which of these characters I want in my window. Maybe I want this little yellow guy in my window this time. Let's do that. Or I could have the red guy. Okay, so you decide where, like who you want in your window. And if I want this little yellow guy, I'm just going to hover over here, and I'm going to kind of make sure that he's going to be in my window. And then I'm going to just move my little guy away. And I want to make sure I have like maybe at least 1/4 of an inch on the side. And I do try and center it from top to bottom a little bit. Uh-oh. Scooted you a little too far. Okay. So let's get, that looks good. Okay, my sticky side is on this side. So now what you want to do is you want to stamp that arrow first on right through the Post-it note. Now I tried this 2 different ways. You can go ahead and stamp it like this right across here, but your arrow will be really, really short. So like this right here, it was very short. And these ones, if you stamp the arrow ends separately, you can make your arrow a little longer, and I actually like that look a little better. So if you want a faster way, just ink it up and then kind of just center it so that you've got the arrow centered right going across there. So you can do it that way definitely, or you can do it my way. And let me grab my secondary Post-it note. Let's just show you. So I want to stamp the tail first because that's harder to position. So I'm going to just cover up with another Post-it note this top piece. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to stamp my tail down here coming across like that. And then I'm going to move the Post-it note to the other side now to cover up the tail end. And then I'll come over here and line this up, and I'm just going to hover over the line so I'm positioning it perfectly, making sure not to go beyond this score line here, because otherwise you're going to be on the back side. Okay, so that got pretty close there with the 2 stamped images. It wasn't perfect, but no one's going to be able to tell through that window. So then you're going to come in here and you're going to use this Post-it note as a positioner. So I'm just sliding my punch in place, and then I'm going to use that as a positioner and just punch through. Okay, now you notice a little bit of my Post-it note remained behind. It's just a little sticky here. You just get rid of that because that's just from the stickiness of the Post-it note, and it's ready to roll. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, show you just real quickly, and then I'll show you how to do the other ones too. So I want to create a little frame that will go around the edge of this. So I'm going to take a piece of real red cardstock, and I'm going to just punch a heart into it. I'm not going to use the heart for this project, so you can set it aside. Maybe you can use it for something else. And then I'm going to take my scallop punch and center it in here. And I'm going to create a little frame. I'm being kind of careful when I'm centering it because I don't want it to have like kind of a wonky look on one side for some reason. Okay, the angle that I'm at. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Okay, so there's my little frame. And then I'm just going to take some Tombow. Hopefully this Tombow still has some juice left in it. Oh yeah, it feels very light. And I just want to put like just a teensy little bit of Tombow on there, as little as possible. And then I'm just going to stick that around the frame with a little window. Okay. And now it should frame up my little M&M thing afterwards. Then I want to pick one of my greetings, and let's see, I'm gonna do, oh, I don't know. Let's see how does this one look. Love you lots. Let's do that one. And I chose to go with a different color. If you want to, you could still use real red, but I love the look of using Early Espresso because then I'm coming back to the colors on the M&M packaging, so it looks nice together. So I'll just ink up Love You Lots, and I'll just stamp it right next to the heart. I love these greetings because they're kind of scripty, so even if you're a little bit crooked with your greeting, it's not going to show. So it's a very forgiving, they're very forgiving greetings. Okay, let's put this together. So I'm going to fold this along the score lines, and this kind of helps if you have a bone folder. So just use your bone folder to smooth down that fold, and then that last score line. I kept the little score segment down at the bottom kind of skinny so that the heart, it wouldn't show through the heart, but it is a little skinny. So just smooth it down and then just put a little tiny bit of Tombow on that edge. And you know what? There's a little bit of too much glue right on the end. So I'm just going to take a little bit off with a piece of cardstock. And then you just fold this down onto here. And you can smooth it down. Press down on that seam. Okay. And that is the extent of the holder. And then you take your little guy. Some of these you might want to like just flatten out so it's easier to get it in. Sometimes they get a little crinkled in there. And then you just slide it in like that. There you go. Isn't he cute? So this is one that I've not made yet with the little yellow guy over here on the corner. So, you know, when you get a whole grouping together, it's kind of fun. So let me show you how I would do the rest. It's not hard, of course, so I would just take this little guy now. And have I done the green guy yet? He might be a little bit low, but let's do the red guy right here. So where did my little Post-it note go? Post-it note. Okay, I can't find my Post-it note, so I'm going to take another one. You can definitely reuse, oh wait, the heart flipped over. Okay, you can reuse the Post-it notes. So until they get too icky, and then, you know, just get yourself a new one. So if I want to do this red one right here, this little red character, I'm going to stick my heart right here. That looks about good. Then I'm going to move him away. And then again, I do try to center this from top to bottom. And so this one's in a little bit more, it's in about 1/2 an inch. And so then again, I would take my little arrow, and I'll make sure I mask off my top part so I don't stamp down here. And then I'll just kind of stamp down here. Now I have to kind of keep in mind, okay, is my arrow, which arrow line am I going for when I line things up? But they're kind of all in the same spot right now, so I should be good. And then I'll come over here and stamp the back, the top end. And then I come in with my punch and I give it a little punch. Okay, so that one's ready to go. and just remove I got a little bit of the Post-it note on the end again, but I can just remove that with my fingers. Let me do, okay, so this one goes to this one. And then let me do this little guy right here, just to show you. Remove this Post-it note again. Let me see if I have any questions while I'm at it. Okay, no questions. If you have a question, let me know while I'm live so that I can answer it. If you're asking me the question later though, no worries, just put it down in the comments. So this one I need to have over a little bit more. So I'm hovering my heart here and he's about here. So now I'm going to put that here. So he's quite a bit over this particular one. Okay. So, you know, you have to shift based on the little guy, but we should still have enough room just to put a small greeting right there in the corner. So then again, we're going to do our little arrow. And let's see, this one can stick out a little further, right? So we stamp this down here. Mask off the bottom. And then my Real Red ink pad is almost all the way off the screen there. Sorry about that. And then just add the little arrow on top. See, now my Post-it note is getting a little messy, but it's still working, right? As long as it's working, it's good. And each time, just remember, the skinny score segment is up at the top. It just makes it easier for the punch. The punch might reach in from this end, but it's just easier if you don't have to deal with that little segment down at the bottom. So that small skinny scored segment is always away from you when you're doing this. Okay. So, you know, you would just finish this off by doing the same thing. I guess I can do it. It's not that hard, right? So I'm just going to do a punch here. Remember, I need the negatives, not the positives. So the positives get thrown away. And then I'm going to come in and just hover my scallop punch, heart punch over top of here. And punch. And then flip it around right here. If I alternate my hearts, going both ways, I can get more fit on a sheet. That's why I alternate them going back and forth, and then get that second one. So you could have like a little assembly line if you had someone to help you, and maybe your kids would like to help you with this. Some of it might be a little hard for them because this is kind of a small frame. So maybe they could handwrite the greeting instead of stamping it. Or sometimes, you know, as a mom, you just end up creating things, or as a dad, I should say, or a caregiver, you just end up creating the things for your kids to take to school, and then the kids just rip into the candy. But I think having cute packaging is always fun. And, you know, everything these days is so commercialized, so it's nice to have like a handmade touch to things. And it also fills the spirit. I think when I'm sitting here crafting these things for someone else, like it kind of fills my soul, you know, because I know it's gonna bring a smile to people's face. And you know, when you look at this at the outset, you're like, at first maybe you're not instantly sure what this little guy is. He just looks like a cute character. You can't see the M on his chest, and so it's kind of like a nice little surprise treat. So let me see what greetings might fit on here. For this one here, I might need a tall greeting, tall skinny greeting. So let me bring my espresso in here. So I'll do from my heart to yours right here, and then this one I'm gonna do so lucky to have a friend like you here. There. And let me move these ink pads aside, because, you know, the next thing that I would do is stick my fingers in the glue, right? And yeah, that's not such a good thing. And I'm using my bone folder again just to hit those score lines. So like you can really see, like you can get 3 out of a sheet of Whisper White. So theoretically, if you didn't make any mistakes at all, you have 40 sheets times 3. So that would be like 120 you could get out of there. But of course, I would always leave room for error. A little bit of Tombow on there. And just adding that on here. Get a little smooth down with my finger. And then let's do this one. Like here. Smooth down with my finger. Okay. Let's move this to the side. This little guy was the one that was kind of more closer, or not more closer, closer to the center. So we want this one here. So see, that works really well there. And then we got this one over here, and he's a little bit more to the one side. So there they are. Let me bring all of these guys back in again. Where'd they go? Oh yeah, here they are. Oh my gosh, look at all of them. Are they cute? You know, they're just like, woohoo, so adorable, right? So they're not very hard to make. The supplies are kind of minimal in terms of Stampin' Up stuff. So what do you think? Kind of fun, huh? So if you want this project sheet, that will be sent out to my email list subscribers on Saturday. So make sure that you get on my email list. And if you need the projects or the products for this tutorial, just go to my blog link. It's down below. Click on it. And you can see the supply list down at the bottom of the blog post. And it's a clickable supply list. So you see the little photo and you can click on it and it will take you right to the product in the Stampin' Up store. And if you purchase from me, you can also choose one of my exclusive tutorials that are they're paid tutorials, or you can get them free with a purchase. So that's a nice little perk. And I do have to mention one more thing. It's celebration right now. So let me grab my celebration catalog real quick. For every $50 you spend, you can choose an item out of the celebration catalog. And if you like cutesy things, one of my favorite ones is this little meerkat set. It is so cute. Isn't it cute? It's called the Gang's All Mirror. If you like pretty things, we've got this lovely lily set. That's for a $50 purchase. If you purchase more, the dies are available with a $100 purchase. So it's for every $50 or $100 you spend, there are products in here. There's beautiful paper, just really cool things that you can get for free. And that goes on, it started at the beginning of January and it goes all the way to March 31st. So it's a really fun time to get Stampin' Up products, because Stampin' Up rewards you for your purchases. All right, guys, I have another project that I'm going to be showing you with the Heartfelt Bundle later this week, so make sure you check back on my blog or YouTube to find that tutorial. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you back here soon. Bye-bye, everyone.